I screamed at my TV twice while watching episode 7 of Skeleton Crew. I have been dying to talk about it, so here are all my thoughts and my review of episode 7. The episode opens up with the parents getting ready to try to contact their kids, and it's essentially a scene out of E.T. We're in a forest. They're using a thrown together device to phone their kids to tell them how to get home. Phone home? The device itself looks exactly like E.T.'s spaceship. While trying to make their connection, they are surrounded by the planet's defense droids, which leads me to once again wonder, are there any humans in charge on this planet? Because all we see are droids. And then we almost get a classic Star Wars line, but it's cut off as Neil's mom says, "I've got a bad..." Almost. Next up, we get back to the kids. They are on their way home. They are happy. They're playing grab ball in the ship. They're just being kids, finally. All except for Wim, who again seems to be unhappy. He's having a hard time getting ready to go home and going back to normal life. But with all the troubles we've seen Wim have, I think we're going to get to see him shine before this series is over. Everybody else has gotten their moment. It's time for Wim to get his. The pirates arrive to At-Atten first. They come across the barrier, and Brutus gives us a nice little Disney animated movie nod when he calls it a treasure planet. And it's in this scene we see a couple of pirate snub fighters that we've seen before in The Mandalorian Season 3. And just as Jod or Captain Silbo is about to get shoved out the airlock once again, the kids arrive in the Onyx Cinder and Jod figures out the secret. They need that ship to get to At-Atten. We get a little bit of a nod to A New Hope as the kids exclaim, "We're caught in a tractor beam!" But when the pirates capture the Onyx Cinder, we see our kids have grown and learned a few things because they're pretty witty and they're able to capture Brutus. It is here that we see Jod once again use the Force, this time to free himself from his cuffs, but again leads me to wonder why he's not using it more when he's being captured by pirates. And it is at this moment that we find out who Jod is to this series. Jod is the villain. He blasts an unarmed Brutus, takes over the crew, and darkness has taken over the lightheartedness of this show. And as they get ready to make their landing on At-Atten, we get a shot of Jod that is very reminiscent of a shot at the end of Revenge of the Sith, where Jod is overlooking the barrier, just as Vader and Palpatine were overlooking the Death Star. Preparing for the assault, we see Jod put on his helmet from episode 1, confirming that the pirate in episode 1 was Jod, even though I'm sure we've all figured that out by now. And it is here where we get the parents' message to their kids. They tell them the only way to get back to At-Atten is to find a Republic emissary. And it is also revealed that the adults of At-Atten know what is going on. They know why there's a barrier. They know that the planet is secret. Upon seeing his dad, Wim wants to take the ship back and hastily charges at the pirates, thinking that that's going to help them. Sadly, it does not. But it is here that SM-33 informs us that Jod cannot be the captain of 2 pirate ships. It is against the code. And at this point, the Onyx Cinder is unclaimed. Wim immediately speaks up to claim the Cinder, but Jod covers his mouth and claims the Cinder for his own, abandoning his claim on the pirate ship. But it is here that Fern steps in and saves the day with what I think is one of the best parts of not only this episode, but anything Fern has done so far on this show.
I call unclaimsies!
What?
I call unclaimsies and claim them for kids only! 33, get these pirates off our ship!
That's right, she unclaims the ship from Jod, and SM-33 recognizes her once again as the captain. And as 33 takes them down to the planet, we realize why the ship was able to leave in the first place. And it's because the Onyx Cinder was never a pirate ship. It was an At-Atten ship used to fly on and off world. And finally, after 6.5 episodes, the kids arrive home. And just when we think everything is going to be happy and hunky-dory, Jod has found his way on board and commits the most heinous act that we've seen in Skeleton Crew. Again, solidifying that Jod is the villain of this story. He uses his lightsaber and takes off SM-33's head. How can you do this to us? And while I completely mispredicted that there would be an Order 66 scene in this episode, we did get something similar, because this shot of Jod hovering over the kids with his lightsaber is almost a perfect mirror to Anakin standing in front of the Padawans in the Jedi Temple in Revenge of the Sith. The ship arrives on the planet. We do hear a supervisor announcement over the planet, but I don't know about you, it sounded pretty pre-recorded to me. The droids greet the ship, again, no humans, and here's what I think is really happening. I think that the droids on this planet are running on autopilot, doing everything that they were programmed to do to keep the mint going, waiting for another emissary to come to take coins away. But it has to have been years since that's happened. But there is no real supervisor. There's no one in charge of AT-ATN. And the real skeleton crew of this show are the people and the droids working this planet for nothing. So the droids meet Jod. They think he's this emissary they've been waiting for, and they take him immediately to the mint and the vault. Which, by the way, this vault is huge. Not the best special effect, it kind of looked fake, but the vault is huge. And when asked how many vaults there are like it, they answer 1,139? Why was it not 1138? Did somebody mess up? Jod gets into the vault, drops to his knees at the sights of all of the credits, laughs maniacally after finally finding his pirate treasure. And outside, the parents come down from above, and we have a heart-filled reunion of parents and children. Finally, everybody's back together again. We can be happy. Except for not, because here comes Jod, lightsaber ignited, and we cut to black. I screamed twice during this episode. When Jod blasted Brutus, I couldn't believe that that's how we decided that Jod was the villain. I was not expecting that moment. And then when Jod takes off SM-33's head, I was horrified. I love 33, and I was just wrecked that Jod took him out that way. And while both of those scenes shocked me, this episode was spectacular. This show just keeps getting better. I cannot believe we only have one episode to go. I am really hoping that they stick the landing on this ending, wrap up the story nicely, and give us a finale that is worthy of the epicness that this show has been. But as always, I want to know what you thought of the episode. Did you love it as much as I did? Were you as shocked as I was? What was your favorite part? What do you think about my theory about the real skeleton crew? And if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to my channel. I talk about Star Wars all the time. I do costuming. I do prop building. I show off my collection here in my Star Wars basement. It's all Star Wars all the time, and I'd love to have you follow along. Only one episode to go, so I'll be back next week to break the finale down, and we'll decide, is Skeleton Crew the greatest Star Wars series that they've released yet? May the Force be with you.